Welcome to my September newsletter. Now, this month, the focus is on the distinction between neurodiversity and neurodivergence, because what is fantastic is these terms are being used a lot more. There's a lot more awareness building up and a lot more conversation. But that also means these terms are sometimes used interchangeably, and perhaps neurodiversity might be used when it should actually be neurodivergence. Neurodiversity is the appreciation of all brain types, celebrating all ways of thinking, processing, differences, communication styles. That includes neurotypical and neurodivergent. It is creating a diverse environment for the way that we think, the way that our brains operate. Just like in nature, we have biodiversity. We need those differences to create a whole balanced ecosystem. Now, neurodivergence is the term that's been created in society for those of us that appear to operate differently to the norm, to what's typical, as to what's been defined, as I say, by society. It could be any type of labeling, because there's a lot of labels out there, and I'll come to labels in a second. Anything from autism, ADHD, Tourette's, dysgraphia, dyslexia, bipolar, the list goes on. But when it comes to labels, now for me personally, I am an AuDHDer, so autism and ADHD. What I see, and this is my personal perspective, because again, every single person is entirely different in how we show up. When someone has a diagnosis, so whether or not they are self-identified or formally identified, it is because they recognize certain behaviors, certain steps, and it's getting to more understanding. Now, it's not to be put in a box, but it is to create more awareness to be able to work with it, because a lot of us do need different considerations. And this is why I wanted to have this conversation with you in my monthly newsletter. So when you're looking at a work environment, quite often it's really geared for neurotypical. And think about this. If you've ever thought that all of these labels, all of these terms, there's a lot of, I hear people talking about as this kind of big woke thing or buzzwords or a trend. It's not. Think about it from this point of view. There are 8.2 billion of us on the planet. Isn't it perhaps more unrealistic, the thought that all of us are the same? It's simply not possible. We all behave differently, we all think differently, we all act differently, we process information and experiences differently. There is neurodiversity in action all around. It is just the way it is. So when you class a group of people into being different because their brains operate and they act differently to how you think they should, I actually want you to really pause on that and think why. Because honestly, no one has the right to define someone as normal or abnormal, or to say, well, you act differently to me, so you are therefore different in a negative way. Because for me, I believe it is great to be different. We need differences in life, because if everyone was the same, it would be very dull. We'd get no innovation, we'd get no open conversations, we'd get weak relationships. We need differences, difference in perspective, different ways of growing, different ways of seeing, all of that. So this is why I really encourage you to embrace neurodiversity, research it, look into it more, because you may have people within your workforce, because up to about 20% of the population is actually neurodivergent. And again, please look into those stats. That comes from Aspect. Think about this. You may have the most phenomenal team member who you see so much potential, but they might struggle to be organized. They might struggle to communicate their thoughts in a logical structure as to what you see as logical. They may turn up late. They may not interact with people as how you think they should, but you can see so much possibility for them, but it's just not clicking. That could be because the environment and the way that they're managed, how they're communicated with, and the structure is not serving them. Have a think about different ways that you can accommodate all the different brain types, the different learning types. right from how you communicate, right from building awareness to all the other members in the team to be able to celebrate difference of opinion, difference of behavioural styles, difference of communication styles. This is not about special treatment, this is about equity. So, communication, how we treat each other is one. Consideration of the environment itself. Is there the certain lighting? Is it that perhaps they need to wear headphones? Is it that certain things or certain smells or noises are really bothering them? Is it that they perhaps might need to work away or have access to quieter places? Is it that the actual timelines and deadlines don't work to their best? Because I know some people, they can get in this hyper-focus mode and produce so much, but then if they are unregulated, that causes freezing and shutdown. So there's different things to think about: the environment itself, the communication, your leadership style. That's just for starters. But once you find things to implement, like have the conversation with everyone, and not as in, hey, I think you might be neurodivergent, can I ask your opinion? Because then again, that's almost excluding even in that. Have an open conversation with how people feel the environment flows. Does it work well? Is it open? Is it transparent? Does it have a level of emotional, psychological safety? Take on board that feedback and use it, because that is gold when you hear from those in it. And then before you go ahead and put anything in, again, check, this is what we're looking at doing. Ultimately, yes, you're the leader and it needs to come down to you. But if you don't gather that feedback from the people that are working within your team, then again, you'll hit a roadblock. So I hope this has been of interest to you. Those differences of neurodiversity versus neurodivergence, the appreciation of all brains, and the considerations that you can put in place. And it's not a trend, it's not a buzzword, it's more awareness of how unique every single one of us is, and be able to embrace it, celebrate it, and work with it. Thank you for listening.